Okay. There we go. I think that's working now. Woot! Concurrent viewers 1. I'm just going to trust the system. I'm going to trust it's all working. And I'm going to trust that there's no delays. Climb under my desk. Oh, no, I do need to get something before we begin. Kind of important. This is nice. I have I finally bought a wireless microphone and got it set up for streaming with my setup. Is this a 240? Yeah, that's what I want. 240. All good there. Maybe one of these bad boys. Oh no, that's a special thingy. It's annoying. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not a big deal. Okie dokie. I hope that I will be able to, maybe I should pop this out and maybe I could read it from here. Because like the whole point is to be able to talk to you guys, obviously. Can I make this bigger, pop out chat? Yeah, okay, there we go. No, that actually made it worse. Okay, well. I'll just have to really focus my eyes. All right, let's see what kind of delay we have in the video, because I don't see myself quite yet. If I go into the studio app, can I see myself? What is that? Can I see you guys? No. That would be too easy. I'm not going to worry about it. You guys can see it, hopefully. I can kind of see the chat over there. I don't know if there's going to be like a weird echo because I have 2 mics going right now. But it should be okay. It sounded okay to me. But anyway, I just wanted to do a chill stream, set up a computer, and then this stream setup took 3 hours. And now I'm out of energy. But we're still going to do it. We're still going to do it. Nothing special at all. So here's the goal. I have a Sapphire Nitro Plus 9600 XT, which I am super pumped about. And I've had this Fractal Era 2 for ever, since launch date. And this is a special Fractal Era 2. I can, if there's a slight echo, if it's really bad, I can hide this mic right here. And does that sound better if I put it behind my back? Just let me know real quick, because I don't want to like kill you guys for 2 hours while I put this together and do nothing. You can just let me know what you guys think. But this Fractal Era is actually a very special Fractal Era. Okay, if that's better, I'm just going to put this in a drawer. All right, close your ears, cover your ears. I'm going to pop this out. It's delayed, but no echo now. Which do you prefer? Okay, I'm going to unplug this, so you're going to want to Cover your ears in 3, 2, 1. Alright. We're back. Now, the only problem with this is that I'm only going to be making sound from like right here. So if I move out of the room, you won't be able to hear me talk, which is probably a good thing. So, to be honest. Anyway, this Fractal Era 2 is a very special Fractal Era 2. I was gifted the opportunity to do a preview during the development process of the Era 2 by Fractal Design. A great gift, very kind of them. They reached out and they're like, hey Josh, we liked your Fractal Era 1 review. You actually seemed to understand what the case was about. It got a lot of hate on YouTube because people were using it incorrectly. I think it was incorrectly. So I made a video showing about how to use it correctly. And they're like, hey, we'd like you to look at number 2 so we get it right. So they're probably sent to a bunch of different people to make sure they got it right. But they were really kind. They're really cool. I couldn't really come up with anything to help improve this case, but it was wild how much innovation was in this case when they sent it to me. You know, if they end up getting in the chat, they can let me know when they sent me the 3D files and the prototypes, but it was a long time ago. This thing was in development forever, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that I'll see if I can remember all of it. But the team was really nice too when they sent me this final version. Look, they signed the top cover for me, and I thought that was just really cool of them. So it's one of my favorite NFC gadget art pieces that now that I have on my collection, my wall. But really grateful for that opportunity. And this isn't a sponsored video. We're not trying to accomplish anything here. We're just doing a build. And I had this case. Now, the build is going to be also kind of a little bit special. This is going to be my son's first computer. He's only 8. It's not going to be his computer, but it's going to be something that he's going to play with me during the summer. We're going to do World of Warcraft, the classic World of Warcraft. And the reason being is, one, I want to introduce him to something that I love and played for a long time, but I also want to help him read. He's a very smart kid, but he doesn't have an interest in reading. And I know that video games really helped me to just learn how to do everything fast. So that's the goal. So the blue, you know, for the Alliance, maybe by the time the video has gone up, I'll do some editing or whatever to show how it finishes up. But I want to get some like gold Alliance stickers and trim and coat of arms and stuff. But I think that's gonna be pretty fun. Okay, the first things first. I'm not an expert on this case. Like I said, this was years ago since I looked at it and I was familiar with it. It goes this way, obviously. But there's some really neat stuff about it. So, number one, this is a much higher quality case than the first era. Just the panel fitment, the anodizing, the surface finish. I don't know how much, I haven't no idea how much this retails for, but this is a very high quality case. The plastics that they use in this look very expensive. It feels really good. I really like how, this is really embarrassing. When I got the first alpha prototype, I couldn't figure out how to take it apart. And then I had to end up asking the people, how do I open up the case cover? That's how stupid I was. But really what you do is that there's a dust filter on the back. You pull the dust filter out, it rocks some cams that release, and then you can just pull the top right off. And once you put the dust filter back in, the cover locks. I have no idea what I've done with it at this point. But I'll have to find that again, because that is one of the drawbacks. Like, you have to have the dust filter, otherwise when you pick up the case from the side panel, the case cover will just come off. The case cover also has a ridiculous amount of ventilation. The first era had these teeny little pinholes on the side, which were completely worthless, as many people pointed out. That's not how the case was supposed to ventilate. but they were worthless. This is actually so large that I can see you, I can read the font that you guys are talking just by holding up the case panel. It's very big. I'll put this on the ground for, oh, right now, we'll get back to it later, but this is actually a true chimney ventilation design, unlike the Era one. Air comes up through the bottom with the pre-installed fans, through the video card, which is really designed for transverse vents, which is what this is, and then it goes up through the top. And I think that water cooling, with either you're doing a custom loop, which this is set up for, or an AIO, is really where this case can truly shine and stand apart from the competition, because it really is set up for a true chimney design. I'm looking at chat. I'm seeing if there's any questions or comments. If you have one, by all means. Like I said, this is a chill stream. I'm not trying to accomplish anything today. I just wanted to hang out and build a computer. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to put a candle on that, a pin in that, something, and show the donor. Now, the one person I know is going to watch the stream is the one person that shouldn't, and that's Gabriel. He built me this beautiful computer, but I'm going to use it for my son's PC, and I'm going to upgrade this later. This case is designed for all liquid cooling externally, and I have a big old giant car-sized radiator outside my house to pump heat from my office outside, so I can game without having the air conditioning on, because it doesn't really get back there. I mean, the air conditioning is always on, but it's not going to get back to that little tiny cubby. But that is down right now for the count, so I can't really use this computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, basically going to stick it in this computer, and it'll just be standalone for right now. And then I'd like to come back to this case that he designed me and put the build in it, especially because this fits so perfectly in my cubby that there's not really a point to switching out to another case. But that's what these parts are going to for. So sorry about that, mister. I don't know if I can fix an audio delay or a video delay. Hopefully it's not too annoying, but hey, hello everybody. Hello new people. We could try just using the other microphone, but that doesn't really make sense. I don't know why that one would work better. That one was a wireless mic, and this one's a hardwired mic. All right, so I'm going to start taking this apart, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to do so without draining the system, because again, the goal is to rebuild this computer anyway. I'm just going to be replacing the parts in it. Removing the top screws from the posts that are holding the water block down, and it looks like it's a custom 3D printed design. I got my own custom little washers here. I love stuff like this. This is where both 3D printing and water cooling really shines, just finding blocks and adapting them to projects like this. All right, now that I have the nuts off, ooh, that's really tight. Maybe I can work. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry about the audio / video. Like I said, I spent 3 hours setting everything up and nothing worked. First I wanted to use the iPad because I just figured I could hit stream and have it right there, and then I could record and then kind of make it into a video later. But then it wanted to have the iPad vertical or else. And so then I'm like, fine. And then I found an option to make it horizontal, but then it wanted to use the back camera, so I couldn't see the chat on it. And then I spent an hour trying to get the audio and video somewhat more in sync, using offset delays and different USB cables. And it sounded pretty good, but I'm sure it could probably get worse as time goes on. All right. We got the water block moved up into the side. I'm going to use the clippers to carefully remove the zip ties holding the very well thought out cable management on the structural pillar. And I'll talk more about the case in a minute, his little design here, his sandwich case, which is really interesting because it actually has independently some of the same fantastic ideas that the Fractal has, but it does it better in some regards. There's trade-offs to everything, but all right, I'm going to unplug the AC cable. Somebody asked, who asked? The title says 9600 XT instead of 9060. Yeah, go figure, Mr. Dyslexia over here. I don't even know if I can change it now, to be honest. Oh well. It is a 9060 XT. I'll see if I can change it. I don't think I can. Edit. 9600 XT. There we go. That's nice. We'll put you back there. Hey, T-Jaws, good to see you, man. Your AIO just died yesterday. Well, rip. They don't last long. I typically don't recommend buying AIOs because they just don't perform well. They're overpriced for what they do, and they die within a year usually. Because what happens is air actually does get into the loop, no matter what you do. Or you could say that it evaporates from the loop. I don't care what they say. I have built more than dozens of them. For one client, it was 24 identical systems with AIOs, and they were older AIOs. They were Asetek AIOs, and they all failed. Like maybe one or two didn't in the first year, and that's just how it is. And I replaced them for other customers too. I think it makes sense in certain builds where you know that you can replace it in a year. It's not a really big deal, and you're gonna get the benefit of easily installing a cooler in an odd location. Yeah, and then there's some people that have had coolers, AIOs, that last years and years and years and years. But for the most part, they are not a long-term reliable solution. Just at least for me, I've bought, like I said, dozens and dozens of them, and I hear about it when customers come back and say, hey, my computer's throttling. We're not working anymore. And for weird computers, I usually just send them a new one if it's, still under warranty, or recommend they just drop in a new one and I walk them through it. But other than that, I've kind of switched to air or real water cooling whenever I can. All right, I'm going to unscrew the SFX power supply from the bracket, the 3D printed bracket. I see an interesting question about the 9060 XT Nitro Plus. And the correct answer, it has an 8-pin power connector, not the what is it, the 12 2x6, 12 volt 2x6 connector. I actually made a video for Sapphire talking about my thoughts on the aesthetics of the card, and I do bring this up. So this uses an 8-pin power connector because it can, no big deal. I don't have a problem with the very high power cable used on the Sapphire 9070 XT Nitro Plus. The reason being is a couple. One, you truly do get to have a stealthy cable going out the back, the bottom, so it looks awesome. It looks totally awesome because how that works, there's a magnetic backplate. It bends through it, so you plug in your graphics card and you can hide the cable completely. It's awesome. And as far as fires are concerned, well, it has fuses, not really that big of a deal. That's kind of more of a marketing gimmick, though not bad. I like fuses in case you actually pin your cable wrong. Like if you get a bad sleever or something like that. But two, it uses the new updated standard, so it's going to automatically prevent cables from getting too hot from not plugging in all the way. I think that's good. But the main thing is this, guys. It's not running 650 watts through it like some of the NVIDIA cards are. It's running 355 watts. I measured. That's peaking. Generally speaking, it's under 200 watts. It's generally speaking, it's well under 300 watts. So that's half the rating of the connector. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I can definitely understand. Oops, I missed one. I also have a 9070 XT Nitro Plus in my hands right now. That's actually my graphics card. In case that wasn't totally obvious. I have nothing to say about this card as for performance or anything like that at all. So just throwing that out there in case people wanted to know what I think about it. I have no clue. I haven't even watched the reviews yet. It may be a terrible card. It may be an awesome card. I have no idea how much it costs because I didn't buy this card. Sapphire sent it to me. So, to make videos for them, obviously. I paid for it. Just not like you would pay for it. Okay, we have one Phillips here, holding the motherboard. The audio latency is degrading. Well, what I could do is I could stop the feed probably from OBS. Try streaming at 2160. All right, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's go over to OBS if you can still hear me. And I'm going to stop the stream here. Or maybe I could just like configure video. No, that's not it. Am I allowed to change the resolution? All right,